Welcome back. You're watching The Full View. The presidency has broken its silence on the CR17 campaign emails. It says it questions whether or not the emails revealing some of the donors to the campaign made their way into the public legally. Now, this follows News 24's publication of several emails, which include the names of people who were managers of Ramaphosa's campaign. Political analyst Xolani Dube joins us now from our Durban studios to talk more about this. A very good evening to you, Xolani. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. So the presidency has put out the statement refuting that he has basically been dishonest or that he's broken any law, behaved in any way criminally. What do you make of the statement?
The fact that the presidency felt that it is necessary to make such a statement, it shows that really there is something that is not comforting President Cyril Ramaphosa, and it's not the first statement. There was a statement from Bosasa that was issued by the president, but I think Tepiso, if for us to look at these statements, we will be really not doing justice to have a real prognosis of what is going on here in South Africa, because if you are going to really look at this statement and then overlooking the real issues that facing South Africa, it will be
so, Xolani,
us as well falling into the trap.
Let's do that. Let's problematize how we ended up in this situation. It may not be this particular statement, but how did we arrive at this point? And what are we to understand of what the crux of the matter is? Did the president lie or did he not lie?
Look, the crux of the matter is that Jacob Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa, they are a product of one institution, and that institution is the ANC. And the product that is being produced by this institution, the ANC, it seems as if these products are really not taking South Africans serious. And on top of that, it shows that this institution, the ANC, is becoming toxic to the livelihood and to the future of South Africa. And so any other person that is going to follow Cyril Ramaphosa, he will be coming from the same institution, doing the same thing. And so I think the narrative that we need to have as South African is a very simple one. How do we debunk? How do we shift the paradigm? Because if we're still focusing on what Cyril has been doing with his campaigning team, we'll be losing the focus on what is happening right now in our country and what is going to happen to the future generation.
So, Xolani, if I'm to understand you correctly, you're saying these are the products of a machinery that has lost its credibility, its sense of accountability. So that is the wider or bigger problem, the wider picture of collective leadership. But a lot of the focus is at the moment on what President Cyril Ramaphosa is believed to have done and said to have done. And it's about his integrity as a member of the executive. Has he contradicted himself to what he said in Parliament when originally asked about Bosasa?
He went to the Parliament more than twice, telling us different stories about Bosasa. So as well as Jacob Zuma, he went to the Parliament. Today in South African vocab, we have what you call it a fire pool. That's why I'm saying Tsepiso. The ANC, they understand very well the type of people that they are dealing with. As I have said, they understand that South African, especially the black South African, it seems as if psychologically they can't really free themselves from the ANC. As well as in our society, we don't have anymore the so-called the torchbearers, the leaders who can lead the society with moral and ethical kind of exemplary. And so that's the problem that we have. ANC currently has got no contestation even in the society, because everyone in our society, when they try to do a prognosis and to come with the solution, they bring those solutions to the ANC, thinking that the ANC, whose putting us to this sinkhole will be the same organization that will give us what we call the solution for this country. So that's why I'm saying.
So if you're suggesting that the ANC itself, or the leaders from within, are incapable of honesty, surely that should mean even its very architecture, if we're going to talk about integrity commissions, NWC, NEC, those who are supposed to hold leaders to account, they then are devoid of the same honesty. From what you're saying.
You have to understand that, you know what I can simply say. The 101 and those who are in the integrity committee, the only thing that they have to preserve is their historical involvement in the struggle of our country. Possibly they want to be buried as the national heroes. But the fact of the matter is, us as South Africans, we need not to look back to the past, and the heroes of the past, they can't be the heroes for the future and the now. And so South Africans really need not to look in the ANC and its heroes as well as its veterans, as its integrity committee. We need to look outside this circle, because even when you look at the NEC statement, that NEC statement was silent, was not really dealing with the issues and the expectation that we were as South Africans thought that the ANC will come out with. And so we are going to be in a serious crisis if we are going to expect the ANC to provide us with solutions.
Are you one of those who argue that the only way for the ANC to renew itself is for it to implode?
Look, the laws of dialectics are very simple. There is the beginning and there is an end. I think, as I've said it before, the ANC, in order to preserve its historical, immaculate, and its history, it needs to go to the archives. It needs to go to the library, and so that the future generation can admire the ANC. But what is happening now, they are chiseling that history. They are making that history being kind of something that we are not going to admire 5 years, 10 years from now. National Party completed its mission. It was dissolved. ANC, to a certain extent, has done very well. But what they are doing now, they are reversing what they've achieved.
Okay, but I need to bring you back to the issue at hand, though. And I hear what you're saying, that there is a bigger picture, bigger narrative to be told. But the presidency itself has said it's concerned about the narrative that these leaked emails is trying to put out there. What position does this put the ANC, these emails and what they seem to imply?
You have to understand that Cyril Ramaphosa entered to the theater with a face of being moral and ethical and upright leader. Hence, we were told about the new dawn. But within the 100 years, we have not yet finished that 100 years of his presidency, that veil that he was wearing is starting to fall, and we are starting to see who Cyril is. We know about the Marikana and the other scandals, but this one is at the center of his presidency. But on the other side, you have to understand, so that this is not going to stick. Cyril is going to walk scot-free, just like Jacob Zuma for the past 9 years. But what is going to happen now in the equilibrium of power within the ANC, NEC, they will be equal, because all of them will be sharing the same veil.
So in
saying,
short,
all of us, we are dirty. No one is clean here.
Okay,
and so no one can come and claim moral grounds.
Let's bring the judiciary then into this discussion. Do you then foresee that the judicial review of the Public Protector's findings on the president misleading Parliament will then be upheld?
Look, you know, Tsepiso, the history repeats itself. It's like we are in the Jacob Zuma's time again. Jacob Zuma has managed to play the delaying tactics. And so I think Cyril will do the same tactic, to say, let me delay this until possible I finish my 9 years or 8 years before he's being ousted. And so I think we are going to see the repetition of what we have witnessed before. Nothing is going to change, except that the characters are going to change, but the script is still the same.
All right, thank you very much, political analyst Xolani Dube.